Meeting now is now streaming live on YouTube.
Great.
Okay, so we now met the requirement of being streaming on YouTube.
Okay, so can we log on to Conley? Julia, are you talking to Julia?
I'm talking to Julia.
Ask her if Conley's already on the line.
Is Conley already on the line, Julia?
Yes, I have Varnett and Larissa, I believe. Do you want both of them to be allowed in?
There's a Vernette and a Larissa. Do you want both of them on there?
Yeah, whoever's representing Conley.
Whoever's representing Conley, let's put them on. Can you put
81st District Court.
81st District Court? And can you also put 81st District Court on as well? That's the court reporter, supposedly.
Okay, I don't see that yet, but I
He
will.
doesn't see you yet.
No, she needs to send the invitation.
No, you need to send him an
She did
invitation.
last time, but.
Okay.
He got the first one, but not. I don't.
612.
Yes, sir. We will get it figured out.
Okay. Okay, we have the Conley unit. We have the defendant on screen.
It looks like we have two. Who's gonna go first?
I have,
Thomas, the defense lawyer needs to be on there. Thomas.
is the defense lawyer on there as well?
Thomas.
Thomas?
He's not here yet, Your Honor.
Get him on Zoom, the defense lawyer? Mr. Thomas needs to be on the, okay. Did the court reporter get his?
Please wait, the meeting host will let you in soon. So she's got to let me in.
Okay. The court reporter needs to be let into the meeting. Julie.
Do you know the title for the court reporter?
What's the 81st District Court at gmail.com.
Or maybe just say, since you joined by phone, maybe say Rich.
And they may also say Rich because he's doing it by phone.
Okay, that's, yes. I just
Okay.
allowed.
You've just been allowed in, Rich. Although, I don't know, but okay. So now we're waiting for the defense attorney, Mr. Thomas, to come. Is he not asking to come in the meeting yet?
Not yet. Mm-mm. So everybody who's joined is a part of the meeting.
Okay. So we're just missing Mr. Thomas. And are we doing the arraignment here for this gentleman? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, for everybody today. You are.
Okay, so I will need the file to be able to read the charge and.
Who's doing it first?
I don't know.
Oh,
Do you know who this gentleman is that's on the screen right now?
We send him an email.
The gentleman, the defendant on the screen, can you give me your name, please?
Robert Hutchison.
Again?
Robert Hutchison.
Can you hear that?
Hutchinson?
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on 1 minute. Can you talk?
Robert Hutchison.
Can you hear that? Did you hear his name on there, John? When he
maybe
gave
just
it?
his last name, what's his last?
Pardon me?
His last name, if you can.
If you can just give me your last name.
Hutchison. Is that what the speaker is? Hutchison, sir.
Is it Washington?
Hutchison.
Ferguson?
No, Hutchison.
Hutchinson.
Hutchinson. Okay, we got his file. Now we're still waiting for your lawyer to get on the Zoom, Mr. Hutchinson. But we were waiting on Mr. Thomas. Mr. Hutchinson has got an indictment for possession of a prohibited weapon, right? That's a third degree. Am I right about that, John?
That's correct.
And then he's got two enhancements. And that's going to enhance him possibly to what?
Depending, I'd have to look on if they were actually sequential or not. If they happened on the same.
Sequential. The one's April 2nd and the other one's August 1st.
Year,
2009 and in 2011.
okay, it would be habitual.
It'll be habitual. Okay, we're 25 minimum, right?
That's correct.
I'm just waiting for Mr. Thomas to get on the Zoom meeting.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay, Julia, could you send Mr. Thomas a link? Evidently, he can't get into the meeting.
Thomas Brewer.
And which email is it being sent to, Jay?
Thomas Brewer.
It's being sent to Thomas Brewer. Julia.
Yes, sir. Yes, Judge.
Breaking on the list, he got it.
We're telling him that we can see it on his email from this point of view, so he should hopefully be coming in the meeting shortly. Can I have a docket sheet for this? Okay, so you should be entering the meeting room shortly.
He's on.
I don't see him on my screen yet. Let's see.
There he is.
Is he the dark guy? Because I don't see anybody.
There he is.
You see him on your screen, John?
Yep, I see Thomas. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good, sir. How you doing?
I see him now. Okay. Wonderful to see. Okay, let me get on the record in this case. This is cause number, sorry for the reverberation. This is cause number 20-05-00059. It is styled the state of Texas versus Robert Charles Hutchinson. Mr. Hutchinson, can you raise your right hand for me, please? As best you can. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give me will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir.
Okay, put your hand down. Thank you. Is your name Robert Charles Hutchinson?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same Robert Charles Hutchinson who in this cause number is currently charged with the offense of possession of a prohibited weapon in a correctional facility? Is that?
It's not a weapon.
I'm not asking if you did it or not. I'm just asking if you're the same person with that charge on this indictment. Is that you?
Oh, no, sir.
Okay. All right. Assuming for a minute that you are the same person and under that name is now charged with the offense, this offense is a third-degree felony. And for that offense, it is possible normally, if it was just a third-degree felony, hold on a minute. Let me back up a minute. Mr. Brewer, can you identify yourself for the record?
Yes, sir. Thomas Brewer. I'm representing Mr. Hutchinson.
And can the state identify themselves for the record?
Yes, sir. My name is John English. English. I'm with the Special Prosecution Unit representing the state.
Okay. This is set for an arraignment, so I'm going to arraign your client, Mr. Brewer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hutchinson, you're here on a charge of possession of a prohibited weapon in a correctional facility. That's a third-degree felony. And for a third-degree felony, it is possible that you could be punished anywhere. Yeah, Mr. Brewer, do you?
Yes, Your Honor, was that cause number 200500059?
Yes, sir.
Do
The
believe-
indictment I have in front of me is a prohibited item in a correctional facility with two enhancement paragraphs, and I'll get to those enhancement paragraphs in a minute.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe it's not a deadly weapon, though. It
Did
may
I
be a cell phone.
weapon? It's a prohibited item, is all I said.
Yes, sir.
It's a cell phone.
Cell phone, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, let me go back. You're here on a charge of possession of a prohibited item in a correctional facility. That's a third-degree felony. Mr. Hutchinson, you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For a third-degree felony, it is possible you can be punished anywhere from a minimum of 0 days.
Minimum of 2 years.
2 years, Your Honor.
It's a minimum of 2 years in prison up to a maximum 10 years in prison. In addition, there is a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Do you understand the possible punishment on that third-degree felony?
Sir.
Because you have on your indictment enhancement paragraphs, if one of those enhancements paragraph was proved up to be true, then it would bump up your punishment up to a second-degree felony. And for a second-degree felony, the punishment could be anywhere from 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison with that same $10,000 fine. You understand that possible punishment?
Sir.
If the second enhancement were proved up to be true, it is possible that you could be enhanced up to a habitual case, which would make the minimum 25 years in prison up to life in prison, and with the same $10,000 fine. Do you understand that possible punishment?
Yes, sir.
Now, understanding the ranges of punishment that I gave you, I'd just like you to enter your formal plea for the record on this case. Formally either guilty or not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Mr. Brewer, does anything else have to be put on the record?
No, Your Honor.
Does the state wish to have anything else on the record?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Okay, I've arraigned you, sir. You've entered your formal plea of not guilty. We're going to reset this case to August the 17th at 10 o'clock. I don't know if it'll be Zoom or in person, because I don't know whether or not you'll be brought here in person or not at that time. I'm hoping that maybe the restrictions will be off by then, but I really don't know. But if you're not brought here in person, then we will try and do a Zoom hearing. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else from any of the attorneys?
No,
No, Your Honor.
Okay, then Mr. Hutchinson, you can be excused from the Zoom meeting right now. All right. Thank you very much, sir.
sir.
Oh, let me just write in the docket number, right? 16/2020. Defendant formally pleads. Case reset to August 17, 2020. Okay, now I've done that one. So which is the next case that's going to be on the docket?
Who that defendant is, it's in the office with the Dallas Cowboys symbol behind him. He has a wearing a white uniform right in the middle, for me, it's right in the middle. You not see it?
I'm not seeing anybody with a
No,
Dallas
you,
Cowboys.
Go to the Zoom where you have all the, should be able to get now. Go to the arrow key up on top, go to the next picture. Right
This
there.
one here?
Yeah, go.
Hit that one?
Yeah, who's that defendant right there wearing a mask and a white uniform?
Oh, okay.
Who is that? And what
Yep.
unit is he at?
Oh, can you give me your name, sir?
Eagleson.
Okay, if you can do me a favor, when you lean into the mic, take your mask off so I can hear your voice a little bit clearer.
Eagleton.
Eagleton, thank you.
Jordan Thomas.
Do anybody see this?
Is the 11 o'clock hearing?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and for right now, Mr. Eagleton's got 2 cases. State's aware of that. One case is going to be a case with 2 counts, one a bribery count and the other a possession of a controlled penalty substance. And then the other case will have one count of a 3rd-degree felony, deadly weapon in a penal institution. Both cases are enhanced. Mr. Eagleton, can you do me a favor and raise your right hand for me? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give me will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, put your hand down. Is your name Jordan? Okay, before I get to this, can I have I have to remember to do this because we're not in court. Could I have the state identify themselves for the record?
Yes, Your Honor. My name is John English with the Special Prosecution Unit appearing for the state.
Could I have the lawyer for the defendant please identify themselves for the record?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm Thomas Brewer, and I represent Mr. Eagleton.
Okay, Mr. Eagleton, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give me will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Is your name Jordan Eagleton?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same Jordan Eagleton who in cause number 20-05-00043, who in that cause number stands charged by indictment with 2 counts of felonies? Count 1 being a charge of deadly weapon in a penal institution. That's the charge only has 1 count on it. Is that you in that charge with charging you with possession of a deadly weapon in a penal institution? I'm not asking if you're guilty or not guilty. I'm just asking if that's you.
You just told me bribery and possession.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
I
not
was
a
wrong.
weapon.
Now this one, and this cause number, you're charged with possession of a deadly weapon. Now, is that you with the charge?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Can I talk to my lawyer real quick? Can I talk to Mr. Brewer?
Mr. Do you go to a breakout room?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could I have the administrator give them a breakout room?
Yes, sir.
Okay, for how long?
Just 2 minutes. That's all.
2 minutes? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you have to give them a time, or how does that work, Julie?
I'll just monitor the time and then it will give you a warning when we close the room.
Okay, can you give them 2 minutes then?
I can.
Okay, you'll get a 2-minute breakout.
All right, thank you. So,
I'm waiting for the breakout to occur. I'm sorry, Jay, I can barely handle what I got right now.
go ahead, Your Honor.
Pardon me, Mr. Eagle?
Yeah, I said, go ahead and run it. I just wanted to bring it to, oh, there you go. There you go. They're gonna break.
Okay. Hopefully you go to a breakout room. We've just lost your attorney, so hopefully you're going in there next.
Can you click the join?
Pardon me?
Okay, he joined.
Okay, he joined.
Yeah.
It's kind of like pulling teeth, but it's the first time, so. Wow, we got the court reporter on now. It's Jay Briones. Man, Rich, I thought it was you. I'd do something about that label.
Did you happen to watch the mock trial they tried to do this way, the mock trial jury selection and everything?
No, I
They had
didn't.
an insurance case where they
I bet that was painful.
It was the first time anybody in the state had done it, so there were some hiccups, but everybody plowed through it.
See, what I can see picking a juror individually on it, but giving a general voir dire with that many people on a panel, which is going to be like, I don't know, maybe at least 36 and plus more. You have all those little things on
But
you.
they broke them up into groups of 12, and so they did 12 at a time.
Okay.
They did 3 groups of 12 at a time, and just the deselections that away. And so they got through it. But
Yeah, I can see non-juries.
I wonder what the court reporter thought of it.
Not much, probably. I can see doing non-jury cases, but jury cases, that would be difficult. I cannot even imagine a capital murder case. That'd be terrible.
Their 2 minutes are up and I will close their room.
Okay, you gonna give them a warning or,
Yes, it gives them 1 minute.
okay.
But once you get past that general, what I like on the capital murder case, well, then it's a piece of cake. And I love it. It would be 101.
Well, yeah, initially, okay, oh, we're going back, I'm sorry. Okay, I've got Mr. Brewer back. I'm waiting for the defendant to get back on. Defendant's back on. Okay, Mr. Eagleton, this is just an arraignment hearing. And it's where I tell you what you're charged with, what the possible punishment could be in your cases, and then I'll ask you for a formal plea of either guilty or not guilty. But I got to get this on the record, okay? So, Mr. Eagleton, in cause number 20-05-00043, are you the same Jordan Eagleton who in that case is charged by indictment with the offense of possession of a deadly weapon in a penal institution? Is that you?
Your Honor, Mr. Eagleton has not returned from the breakout room yet, Your Honor.
I have
That
him.
guy's on Mr.
I have it on my screen, Mr. Burr.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Do you have him?
I don't see him. There he is. He's muted.
Okay.
He's muted. Muted.
Okay. So, Mr. Eagleton, is that you with that charge? Okay, can you unmute your screen, please? Try it again.
Yes, sir, that's me, Your Honor.
Okay, that's you. For that offense, that's a third-degree felony. And for that third-degree felony, it's possible you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 10 years in prison. You understand the possible punishment in that case?
Yes, sir.
Because you've been enhanced, in other words, there have been 2 enhancement paragraphs added on to your indictment, it is possible that your punishment could be increased. And because both of these enhancements involve cases that occurred on separate succeeding years, I'm going to go through what would happen if one was proved to be true and if the second was proved to be true. If the first enhancement paragraph would prove to be true, it would bump your case up to a second-degree felony, which means your punishment could be anywhere from a minimum 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison with a possible fine of $10,000. Do you understand that possible punishment?
Yes, sir.
If the second enhancement were proved up as well as the first enhancement were proved to be true, that would bump up your case to a habitual felony, which means your punishment could be anywhere from a minimum 25 years in prison up to life in prison with a possible $10,000 fine. You understand the possible punishment in that case?
Yes, sir.
Now, to this offense, can you tell me what your formal plea is? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Thank you. Now, I have another case in front of me. In this case, this is cause number 20-05-00042. In this case, I have a case with 2 counts of the indictment. The first count of the indictment alleges possession of a controlled substance in penalty group 2A over 4 grams, which is a first degree felony. I'm sorry, that's the second count. Let me back up. On the first count of your indictment, you're charged with the offense of bribery. That's the first count, and that's a second degree felony. For this count 2 of your indictment, you're charged with possession of a controlled substance in penalty group 2A over 4 grams, and that's a first degree felony. Is that you that is charged with those offenses?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And now I'm going to give you the range of punishments in these cases, okay? For the first case, count 1, a second degree felony, it is possible on the bribery case, you can be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from a minimum of, there's a possible range of punishment from 2 to 20 years, and there's a possible fine anywhere from a minimum of $0 to $10,000. Do you understand that possible punishment?
Yes, sir.
Second count, which is the possession of the controlled substance, that's a first degree felony. And in that case, it's possible you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of, is it 2 years again? On a first degree, it's 2 years, anywhere up to 99 years or life, and there's a fine anywhere up to $10,000.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, for habitual, it's a minimum of 25.
No, I'm not, but this is not the enhanced case yet. I'm just doing the
First degree felony?
the second count is a first degree straight
The
first.
the minimum is 5.
Yeah, okay, sorry. The minimum is 5 years on that first degree, and the maximum is up to 99 years or life. And there's a fine anywhere from to $10,000. Now that's if the enhancement paragraphs are not proven. If the first enhancement paragraph is proven on your indictment, then your second degree comes up to a regular first degree, right?
There are 2 felonies proven in sequence, then it becomes habitual.
Right, but if only one is
Only
proven,
one, then it just goes up to,
a regular first degree, correct?
it would be a first degree with a minimum of 15 years.
15 years, okay. So on that first count of bribery, which is already a second degree, if that first count were proven, it would bump up your punishment anywhere from a minimum of up to 15 years up to a maximum 99 years of life with a fine of $10,000. You understand that range of punishment?
Yes, sir.
If that same bribery count, if both enhancement paragraphs are proven up to be true, then it becomes an habitual life sentence, which could be anywhere from a minimum 25 years up to a maximum life in prison with the $10,000 fine possible. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
On count 2, which is a first degree felony, I'm not exactly sure how that works. On a first degree felony, if you just prove one enhancement,
It becomes a minimum 15,
Okay.
maximum life.
the minimum bumps up from 5 up to 15 years and up to 99 years of life and a $10,000 fine. You understand that range of punishment?
Yes, sir.
If both enhancement paragraphs are proved up, it becomes a habitual again, and that becomes anywhere from a minimum 25 years in prison up to 99 years of life in prison with a $10,000 fine. You understand that range of punishment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now to these 2 offenses, I need a formal plea just on how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
I'm going to enter your formal pleas of not guilty on both those counts.
Yeah.
Mr. Brewer, is there anything else that you wish to put on the record? Have I lost Mr. Brewer?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, he's muted. Okay.
Thomas, you're muted.
Okay. So, Mr. Brewer, I'm sorry again. Is there anything else that you want to put on the record?
No, Your Honor.
The state wish to put anything else on the record?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
This concludes this Zoom hearing for the arraignment. Okay, so Mr. Eagleton can be excused. Now I need to catch up and write on these things. So hold on 1 minute.
All right.
This is 6, 2020. And then arraigned. Entered formal plea of not guilty. Reset to August 17th, That one. And this one. 6-15-2020. Arraigned. Enters plea. I'm not guilty. Reset to August 17, 2020. Okay, that takes care of that. Now, which, going back to the Conley units, is anyone there representing the Conley unit?
They're there.
Okay. So then, sir, can you get close to that computer? And can you give me your last name speaking into that computer?
Long.
Did you say Ball?
Long.
Long.
Yes, sir.
Hold on.
Jonathan Daniel Long.
Jonathan Long?
Yes, sir.
Jonathan Long. Okay. Okay, before we get on the record, John, this is an enhancements are both on the same day.
So it can only be enhanced once.
We can only be enhanced once.
That's
Okay.
correct, Your Honor.
Just want to make sure. Okay. Mr. Long, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give me will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you long. So help you God.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is your name Jonathan Daniel Long?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same Jonathan Long who in this cause number 2005000060, who stands charged with the offense of possession of a deadly weapon in a penal institution?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is a third-degree felony, and for a third-degree felony, it is possible you can be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 10 years in prison. Do you understand that possible punishment?
Yes, sir.
Your indictment has 2 enhancement paragraphs, and that means if either one of those enhancement paragraphs is proven to be true, that your punishment could be bumped up to the punishment for a second-degree felony. And the punishment for a second-degree felony is anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to a maximum 20 years in prison with a possible fine of up to $10,000. Do you understand that possible punishment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I'd like to have now on the record is your formal plea on this arraignment. Do you formally plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty. Guilty.
I think, Mr. Brewer, let me have you talk to your client.
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to have a breakout with my client, please, sir.
Yeah, can we give you 2 minutes? Is that good enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I have the administrator, Julie, can you put him in a breakout room for 2 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
We're waiting for this to happen. Hold on. Is the computer telling you anything, Julie? Okay, I just lost. Oh, it's not. Great. So why isn't this computer stuff faster?
Just takes a minute to get the room set up.
Okay.
kids are watching on the YouTube link.
Are they really?
And they say that they can only see whoever's talking. So just a reminder that we have no idea who's watching us right now.
Wow, that's scary. I don't want to tell my wife I'm on this thing because she'll be correcting how I dress, how I wear, what I look like. Good God, it'll be terrible.
My kids like YouTube, so I'm like, I have a YouTube channel.
They can see John's kids are seeing it right now.
They
said
don't
they can
watch
only
it,
see
but
who's talking, so they can't see.
Mr. Brewer, are you done?
Yes, we're done.
I'm waiting for them to get on the screen.
Okay.
I have everybody back on my screen, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm still waiting. Maybe hold on. Okay, I have everyone on my screen now. So then, Mr. Long, let's do this again. This is just a formal plea as part of the arraignment, okay? It's not, and you can change your plea later. But for right now, I just need a formal plea. To the offense, Mr. Long, of possession of a deadly weapon in a penal institution, which is a third-degree felony. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, sir.
Not guilty. Thank you. Does either, Mr. Brewer, do you have anything else you want to put on the record?
No, Your Honor.
Does the state have anything they want to put on the record?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Okay, then this concludes this Zoom hearing for the arraignment. Then Mr. Long can be excused. Thank you, Mr. Long. Oh, the case is going to be, oh, well, the case will be reset. Never mind. Let's see. 20. Defendant arraigned. Defendant pleads not guilty. Case reset to August 17th, 2020. Mr. Brewer,
Yes, Your Honor.
tell your client his case is being reset to August 17th, but I'm assuming that you'll tell him that somewhere along the way.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Screwed up on that one. All right, so Jay, tell me what's going on next.
Conley, we're gonna finish Conley. Telford is already on standby.
Okay, so we have another,
Whoever's got Conley, we're not finished.
we have somebody else in Conley. Okay, I see him just pop up. Sir, could you get close to that the computer? And could you briefly take your mask off and state your last name?
Ramos.
Again,
Ramos.
Elmo?
Ramos. Ramos.
Ramos?
Yes. Yes.
Ramos, okay. Hold on. I'm trying to find your file. Okay. So, can you do me a favor? Raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give me will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Is your name Eric Ramos?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same Eric Ramos who in this cause number 20-05-00061, who is charged by indictment with the offense of possession of a prohibited substance in a correctional facility?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is a third-degree felony. And for a third-degree felony, it is possible that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to a maximum 10 years in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 minimum up to $10,000 maximum. Do you understand that range of punishment?
Yes, sir.
Your indictment has some enhancement paragraphs. Your enhancement. And they're consecutive, it looks like. One is said, one talks about an enhancement on January 6th, and then some other enhancements that are on 22nd. There's a total, if I can count them, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 enhancement paragraphs on your indictment. If one of those enhancement paragraphs were proven up true, it would bump up your third-degree felony case up to a second-degree felony case. And that would be punishment anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison with a fine up to $10,000. Do you understand that possible punishment?
Yes, sir.
If any one of those other enhancements were proved up, in other words, if 2 of those enhancement paragraphs are proved out to be true, it bumps up your punishment up to an habitual felony, which means your minimum possible time in prison could be 25 years in prison, up to a maximum of life in prison with a possible fine up to $10,000. You understand that possible punishment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what I'd like now is, as part of a formal arraignment process, is for you to enter your plea for me of either guilty or not guilty, and you can change this later. So,
Yes.
how do you plead to this offense, sir? How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Oh,
Guilty.
Your Honor, may I speak with my client?
Yes, I'm going to allow you to. Is 2 minutes in the breakout room good enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to allow you 2 minutes in the breakout room.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. But you see, I can't throw this bottle at him if he's at home. And Jay, how many more of these do we have after this? What's going on? Okay. So we're gonna go straight through lunch doing this? Huh? Okay. I may need a bathroom break after one of these, yeah. Okay, a couple more.
Your Honor, do you need us to identify ourselves when we come back on?
I do, I'm sorry. Because each case is separate.
We just had the next unit come on.
So the other units there on standby.
Well, after I do this, I'm going to take a bathroom break. Okay, if I can. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so then I have Mr. Ramos and I have Mr. Brewer. I forgot because of so many cases we're doing this morning. Could I have attorney for Mr. Ramos identify himself for the record?
Yes, sir. It's Thomas Brewer, and I represent Mr. Ramos.
And attorney for the state identify yourself?
Yes, Your Honor. My name is John English with the Special Prosecution Unit appearing for the state.
Okay, I just previously gone over the possible range of punishment in Mr. Ramos's case, and I was asking him for his formal plea on the arraignment to these charges. Mr. Ramos, is your plea, what is your plea in this case? Either guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Not guilty, okay. Does Mr. Ramos's case have anything else you want to put on, attorney have anything you want to put on the record?
No, Your Honor.
Does the state have anything you want to put on the record?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
And this arraignment hearing is over for Mr. Ramos, and he can be excused.
Can we reset to the 17th, Your Honor?
And it's going to be reset to the 17th. Thank you for reminding me.
This month?
Your case is going to get reset to August the 17th.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, this is, okay, 6, 15, 20, 20, defendant arraigned. Formal plea. Not guilty. Reset to August 17, 2020. Okay. Okay, Julie, if I want to take a 5-minute break, can I, a 5-minute bathroom break, can I do that and come back? You're nodding your head yes and thumbs up on me. Okay, I'm gonna just step out and come back in 5 minutes, all right?
I'm not doing anything.
Okay, let's try this again. Who's on the Conley unit? Is that you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Could you state your name under the microphone, your last name?
Douglas.
Could you, is that Douglas? Is that what I heard?
Yes, sir.
Douglas. I'm getting your file. 1 minute, Mr. Douglas. Okay, Mr. Douglas, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear the testimony about to give me will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is your name Emmanuel Douglas?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same Emmanuel Douglas who in this cause number 2005000054, who stands charged by indictment with the offense of possession of a prohibited substance in a correctional facility? Is that you?
Yes, sir.
This offense is a third-degree felony, and for a third-degree felony, it is possible you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 10 years in prison. In addition, there is a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Do you understand the possible punishment in your case?
Yes, sir.
Your indictment has an enhancement paragraph on it. And because of that enhancement paragraph, if that enhancement paragraph were to be proved out to be true, it could possibly bump up your punishment up to a second-degree felony. And for a second-degree felony, it is possible that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to a maximum of 20 years in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. You understand your possible punishment in that case?
Yes, sir.
By the way, for the record, could I have the state's attorney and the defense attorney identify themselves for the record?
Yes, Your Honor. John English with the Special Prosecution Unit appearing for the state.
And Thomas Brewer, Your Honor. I represent Mr. Douglas.
Okay. Mr. Douglas, I've just given you the range of punishment in this case, and what I need now for this formal arraignment is your formal plea, which you can change later on, of either guilty or not guilty. What is your formal plea today, sir?
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Then the court's going to accept that plea of not guilty. Your case is going to be reset to August the 17th. Is that understood? Okay. Then you can be excused from the Zoom meeting then. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
This is 6, 15, 20, 20. Okay. Let's go here. Okay. Could I have the defendant who's on the screen take off your mask, please, and speak into the microphone and give me your last name so I can get your file?
Carter.
Again?
Carter.
Voter?
Carter with a C.
Carter.
Yes.
Carter. Thank you. And you're at the, Mr. Carter, you're at the Telford unit?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's at. Okay, could I have the attorneys on this hearing identify themselves for the record, first the state and then the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. John English with the Special Prosecution Unit appearing for the state.
And Thomas Brewer representing Mr. Logan Carter, sir.
Mr. Carter, can you raise your right hand for me, sir?
Yeah.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give me will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
And put your hand down. Is your name Logan Wayne Carter?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same Logan Wayne Carter who in this cause number that I just recited is charged with the offense of assault on a public servant?
Yes, sir.
That's a third-degree felony. And for a third-degree felony, it is possible that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 10 years in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Do you understand the possible punishment in your case?
Yes, I do.
Your case has got some enhancement paragraphs on it. Let me make sure. If
Yes,
each
Your-
one of these enhancement paragraphs,
They're not consecutive, Your Honor, so we can only enhance with.
right, just one, correct, yeah. If either one of these enhancement paragraphs was proved to be true, it is possible that your case could be enhanced up or bumped up to a second-degree felony. And for a second-degree felony, it is possible that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Do you understand the possible punishment if your case were to be enhanced?
Yes, sir.
So now, as part of the arraignment process, I need a formal plea from you that is not binding. I just need a formal plea right now on the record of either guilty or not guilty. How do you plead, sir?
Not guilty.
Thank you. This case now is going to get reset to August the 17th for a pretrial conference. Does attorney for the state have anything else they want to put on the record?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Does attorney for the defendant have anything else you want to put on the record?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And, you, sir, can be excused from the Zoom meeting. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, let me write this down now. Okay. So are we back at the Conley? Can I go back to the Conley unit? Whichever prisoner we have at the Conley unit, can you take off your mask and speak into the microphone and tell me your last name, please? Again? Did you all hear that? Atute?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Atute, okay. Okay, consecutive enhancements, okay. Mr. Atute, can you do me a favor? Raise your right hand for me, sir. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give me will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, can you unmute Mr. Atute's computer, please, whoever's in the room? Okay, again, let me try that again because I didn't hear what you said. Are you the same Jose Rigoberto Matute, who in this cause number that I just recited is charged with the offense of possession of a prohibited item in a correctional facility? Is that you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. This offense, before I get to this, could I have the attorney for the state identify themselves for the record and attorney for the defense identify themselves for the record?
Yes, Your Honor. John English with the Special Prosecution Unit appearing for the state.
Thomas Brewer, Your Honor, representing Mr. Matute.
Okay. Mr. Matute, this charge is a third-degree felony that you're charged with, and it is possible for a third-degree felony that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 10 years in prison maximum. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Do you understand that possible punishment?
Yes, sir, I understand.
because your indictment has got 2 enhancement paragraphs on it, it is possible that if the first paragraph were proved out to be true, that your punishment could be bumped up to a second-degree felony. And for a second-degree felony, it is possible you can be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. You understand what would happen if that second paragraph were proved out to be true?
Yes, sir.
There's a second enhancement paragraph, and if those 2 enhancement paragraphs were to prove up to be true, it is a possibility that your case could be bumped up to a first-degree habitual felony, which means that your minimum would be 25 years in prison up to life in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. You understand what your possible punishment could be if both those 2 enhancement paragraphs are proved up to be true?
Yes, sir.
What I need to do now is ask you your formal plea on this arraignment. It is not binding, and you can change it later. But how to this charge? How do you plead, sir? True or not true?
Not true.
Sorry, guilty or not guilty? I'm
Not guilty.
not guilty. Does the state have anything else they want to put on the record?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
The defense have anything else they want to put on the record?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
This case is going to get reset then for a pretrial conference for August the 17th. Mr. Matute, you can be excused from the Zoom meeting. Thank you. Hold on 1 minute. Can't walk and chew gum, okay? Okay. Now we're going to the Telford unit. Okay. Are you in the Telford unit, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could you give me your last name, please?
Keller.
Kelly?
Keller. Keller.
Keller. Could I ask the attorney for the state to identify themselves for the record?
This is John English with the Special Prosecution Unit appearing for the state, Your Honor.
Okay, could I ask the attorney for the defendant to identify himself for the record?
Yes, Your Honor. Thomas Brewer representing Mr. Keller.
Okay. Mr. Keller, can you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear testimony you're about to give me be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, put your hand down. Is your name Marcus Keller?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same Marcus Keller who in this cause number 2005000064, who stands charged by indictment with the offense of possession of a prohibited substance in a correctional facility? Is that you?
Yes.
This is a 3rd-degree felony, and for a 3rd-degree felony, it is possible that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 10 years in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Do you understand the possible punishment on your case?
Yes, sir.
Your case has got enhancement paragraphs. And there are namely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enhancement paragraphs on your case. If one of those enhancements paragraphs were proven not to be true, it would bump your felony punishment up to a 2nd degree. And for a 2nd-degree felony, it's possible that you can be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. You understand what your possible punishment could be if one of the enhancement paragraphs are proven not to be true?
Yes, sir.
if a second paragraph were proven not to be true, in other words, if two of those enhancement paragraphs were proven not to be true, it is possible in your case that you could have an habitual first degree punishment, which means you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 25 years in prison up to a maximum life in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. You understand what your possible punishment could be in your case if two of those enhancement paragraphs are proved to be true.
Right.
What I'd like to know now, for purposes of this formal arraignment, is what your plea is to these charges. It's a plea that you can change. It's not binding right now, but I just need a formal plea. To the charges, how do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Is there anything else from attorney for the state in this case?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Anything from the defense?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
Then I'm going to accept the defendant's formal plea of not guilty. This case is going to be reset for a pretrial conference to August the 17th. Okay. And Mr. Keller, you can be excused from the Zoom meeting. Thank you very much. Okay, are we still at the Telford unit? Okay. Whatever prisoners at the Conley unit, could you please take your mask off and give me your last name by speaking it into the microphone?
Johnny Bettis.
Again?
Johnny Bettis.
Did you hear that? Johnny Perez? That's correct? Okay, yeah, Johnny Perez. Okay. Could I have the attorneys, could I have the state's attorney identify themselves for the record in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. My name is John English with the Special Prosecution Unit appearing for the state.
Could I have the defense attorney identify themselves for the record?
Yes, Your Honor. Thomas Brewer representing Mr. Perez.
Okay. Mr. Perez, could you please raise your right hand for me? Mr. Perez, could you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give me will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, put your hand down. Thank you. You can put your hand down. Is your name Johnny Ray Perez?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same Johnny Ray Perez who in this cause number 20-05-00065, who stands charged with the offense of possession of a prohibited item in a correctional facility? Is that you? I'm not asking if you, excuse me, sir. I'm not asking if you're guilty or not guilty. I'm just asking if you're the person that's charged in that offense.
Yes, I'm kind of confused. I'm kind of confused. What is that? I don't know what that number is. What is the number?
The number of the case?
Yeah, the number that you just gave me.
The number that I gave you is 20-05-00065. That's the cause number.
Excuse me, sir. What is your name?
I'm Judge Canales. I'm here doing an arraignment. To talk to your attorney perhaps in a breakout room?
Sir?
Would you like to talk to your attorney in a breakout room for a minute?
Yes, sir. Please.
Why don't we give you a couple of minutes in the breakout room, Mr. Brewer, so you can explain the process and what's going on to your client? Let's give him 2 minutes, please. I know Mr. Brewer is there. Is his client there? Okay, so we have another person from another case. Okay,
Yes, sir, that's the Telford unit.
okay. I'm gonna mute myself for just a minute.
Thirty seconds remaining.
Pardon me?
30 seconds remaining.
Oh, okay. If they need more time, then give them more time. I want, you know, I don't want to cut the attorney off from having.
Yes,
Will
sir.
they be able to ask you for more time?
When they return, yes.
Okay, okay. Okay, Mr. Rear, are you back? Do you need more time or are you okay?
It would be nice if we had a couple more minutes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's give them, you need 5 minutes? How much time do you need, Mr. Rear?
Another 3.
Another 3 minutes. Let's give them another breakout room for 3 more minutes, okay? Let's, Okay, Mr. Brewer's back on the screen. I'm still waiting, and his client's back on the screen. Okay, I forget where I was in this thing. I think I'd already asked Mr. Pettis to swear himself in. Did I ask the attorneys to identify themselves in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor, we've already identified her.
Okay, so then, Mr. Pettis, you're here on a charge of possession of a prohibited item in a correctional facility. This is a third-degree felony, and for a third-degree felony, it is possible that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 10 years in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Do you understand the possible punishment in your case?
Yes, sir.
There is an enhancement paragraph on your indictment. And if that enhancement paragraph were to be proven to be true, it is possible that your punishment could be bumped up from a third degree up to a second degree felony. And for a second degree felony, it is possible that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison. And in addition, there's a fine anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. You understand what the possible punishment could be if your enhancement paragraph were proved out to be true?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So right now, for the purpose of this arraignment, I'd like you to give me your plea, and it's non-binding. You can change it later on if you want, but for right now, to this offense, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Is there anything else from the attorney for the state in this case?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Anything from the defense attorney?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
Okay, so then I'm going to accept your plea of not guilty to this offense. We're going to set this for a pretrial conference for August the 17th. Okay? And then Mr. Bettis, you can be excused from the Zoom meeting.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is there any way I can talk to my lawyer?
Yeah, we can. How much time do you need?
About 2 minutes.
I'm sorry. You want to talk to your lawyer, was I was asking. You said you want to talk to your lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how much time do you need to talk to him for?
I can do it 2 minutes.
About 2 minutes? Okay, can we give him a 3-minute break? A break? And Mr. Burr, is that okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we're going to give you 3 minutes to talk to your lawyer, but then we've got other cases that are waiting in line. So we won't be able to give you more than that, okay? Just so you know, we've got other people to take care of. But you got 3 minutes. Go ahead and take him out to the breakout room. Oh, no, this is not good. The computer here says your battery is running low. You may want to plug in your PC.
Judge, you got power? Oh, no, you gotta plug it in. Here it is.
Thank you. Okay, well, that would have been a good excuse. Okay. Mr. Brewer's back online. And we're going to go to the Telford unit now. Could I ask the defendant who's in the Telford unit, please take your mask off and speak strongly in the microphone of your computer. What is your last name, sir? Unmute your computer, please. Okay, can you try again? We're not hearing any sound. Can you ask the prison guard there to adjust your computer?
Now he's unmuted, Your Honor.
Okay, now we can hear you. What's your name, sir?
Where?
Again?
Where? Miguel.
Brenner?
Friday.
Hold on 1 minute. Michael Pryor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'm getting the file. Okay. Can you do me a favor, sir? Raise your right hand for me, please. These testimony you're about to give me will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Okay, put your hand down. Thank you. Is your name Miguel? Is it Fryer?
Yeah. Yes. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
are you the same Miguel Fryer who in this cause number 20-05-00053, who stands charged with the offense of assault on a public servant? Is that you?
Yes, sir.
This is a third-degree felony. And before I get to the punishment range, could I have the attorneys identify themselves for the record on this case? Could the attorney for the state identify themselves?
Yes, Your Honor. John English with the Special Prosecution Unit appearing for the state.
Attorney for the defendant?
Thomas Brewer representing Mr. Fryer, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Fryer, this is a third-degree felony, and for a third-degree felony, it is possible you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 10 years in prison. In addition, there is a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Do you understand the possible punishment in your case, sir? Mr. Fryer?
Can you say one more time?
Yeah, I'll say it one more time. You're charged with a third-degree felony. And for a third-degree felony, it is possible you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 10 years in prison. In addition, there is a fine possible anywhere from $0 minimum up to $10,000 maximum. Do you understand the possible punishment in your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your indictment has an enhancement paragraph. And if that enhancement paragraph were proven to be true, it would possibly bump up the punishment in your case from a third-degree felony up to a second-degree felony. And for a second-degree felony, it is possible in your case that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. You understand what your possible punishment could be in your case if the enhancement were proven to be true?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right now, what I'd like to have from you is your formal plea in this case. It is non-binding. You can change it later. But right now, your plea in this case to the offense of assault on a public servant, is it guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Is there anything else from the state in this case?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Anything from the attorney for the defendant?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to accept the defendant's plea on the arraignment of not guilty. This case will be reset for a pretrial conference to August the 17th. Mr. Fryer, you can be excused from this meeting now. Thank you very much. Okay. Conley unit. Okay, whoever the prisoner is at the Conley unit, could you please lower your mask and speak your last name into the microphone of the computer?
Carvajal. Carvajal.
Carvajal? Carvajal? Okay, let me see. Is that Alejandro Carvajal?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Can you do me a favor, sir, and raise your right hand for me? Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give me will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Put your hand down. Thank you. Is your name Alejandro Carvajal?
Yes.
Are you the same Alejandro Carvajal who in this cause number 20-05-00045, who's charged by indictment with 2 counts of felonies? Is that you?
Yes.
Count 1 of your indictment alleges that the offense of possession of a prohibited item in a correctional facility. That is a 3rd-degree felony. And for a 3rd-degree felony, it is possible in your case that you could be punished. Actually, let me back up. That's count 1. Count 2 charges you with tampering with a physical evidence. Both those counts are 3rd-degree felonies. And it is possible in each one of those counts that you could be punished with a 3rd-degree felony. Before I go any further, could I have the attorney for the state identify themselves in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. My name is John English with the Special Prosecution Unit appearing for the state.
And for the defense?
Yes, Your Honor, Thomas Brewer representing Mr. Carvajal.
Okay. Mr. Carvajal, for 3rd-degree felonies and either one of those 2 counts, it's possible in each one of those 2 counts that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 10 years in prison. In addition, there is a fine possible in each case anywhere from a minimum of $0 up to a maximum of $10,000. You understand the possible punishment that could happen in each one of those counts?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have on your indictment an enhancement paragraph. And if that enhancement paragraph were proved up, it is possible that your punishment in your case could be bumped up from a 3rd degree to a 2nd degree felony. And for a 2nd degree felony in each one of these counts, it is possible that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Do you understand what your possible punishment could be if the enhancement paragraph were proven to be true?
Yes, sir.
Right now, for purposes of this arraignment, I'd like to know what your plea is in this case. It's non-binding, you can change it later, but to the offense of count 1 and count 2, how do you plead to these charges, sir? True or not? I mean, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Not guilty?
Not guilty.
Okay. The court's going to accept your plea of not guilty to the arraignments in this case. This case will be reset for a pretrial hearing to August the 17th. You can
Yes.
from the Zoom.
I apologize.
Excuse me?
I say something to the honorable, to the courts, if I may.
I didn't quite understand that. If you can enunciate.
I said, I would like to make a statement on behalf of the police.
Okay, I think what I'd like you to do is talk to your attorney before I allow you to make any statement, because your attorney might want to give you some of your legal rights if you do that. Mr. Brewer, would you like about 3 minutes to talk to your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor. Client.
We're gonna put you in a breakout room on the Zoom conference so you can talk to your attorney, okay? Let's do that. Okay, back in the Zoom conference, Mr. Brewer.
I understand, okay, I understand fully everything. And,
Yeah. Okay, so then this case is going to get reset for a pretrial conference for August the 17th. And
okay.
you can be excused from this meeting then. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, next on the Telford unit. Prisoner of the Telford unit, defendant Telford unit. Could you give me your last name, sir?
Washington.
Again?
Washington.
Brooks or Ferguson? Washington? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Washington. Mr. Washington, could you raise your right hand for me, sir? You swear the testimony you're about to give me will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Sir.
Okay, put your hand down. Is your name Deshaun Washington?
Sir.
Are you the same Deshaun Washington who in this cause number 20-05-00058, who stands charged with the offense of assault on a public servant? Is that you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is a third-degree felony. And for a third degree, before we get onto that, could I have the attorneys in this case identify themselves? Attorney for the state
Yes, Your Honor, my name is John English with the Special Prosecution Unit appearing for the state.
and attorney for the defendant.
Yes, Your Honor, my name is Thomas Brewer, representing Mr. Washington.
So, Mr. Washington, you hear a third-degree felony. For a third-degree felony, it is possible that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Do you understand the possible punishment in your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Washington, you have several enhancements on your case. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enhancements. If any one of these enhancements were proven to be true, it could bump up the punishment in your case up to a second-degree felony. And for second-degree felony, it's possible that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Do you understand the possible punishment if your case were bumped up to a second-degree felony?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. If another enhancement were proved up, then your punishment could be bumped up to a first-degree habitual case, which would make your punishment anywhere from a minimum 25 years in prison up to life in prison. In addition, there'd be a fine anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. You understand what the possible punishment could be if 2 enhancement paragraphs are proven to be true?
Yes, sir.
Right now, for purposes of this arraignment, I would like your formal plea entered in this case. It's not binding. You can change it later. But for right now, the plea to this offense, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Mr. Brewer, do you want to talk to your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
About 3 minutes, is that okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to give you 3 minutes in a breakout room, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't put it in the coaches are already steer some what direction.
Okay. So Jay, where are we after this one then? So three more of these. Okay. 4 more. Okay. Okay, Mr. Brewer's back on the screen, waiting for his client to get back on the screen.
Yes, Your Honor. He had said not guilty.
Okay, I need to hear that from him. I'm sorry, Mr. Brewer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, back on the record, Mr. Washington, for the purpose of the arraignment only, it's a plea that you can change later, to the offense of assault on a public servant. How do you
Yeah,
plead?
I'm not guilty.
Thank you. I'm going to enter your plea is
I
not
guilty.
guilty. This case is going to get reset for a pretrial conference to August 17th. Okay? You can be excused from this Zoom meeting then. Thank you, sir. Okay. Going to the Conley unit now.
So I believe that was everybody at the Connolly. The only one we have left is an offender that's under quarantine right now.
I'm sorry, you're coming in garbled. You're going to have to speak a little bit clearer into the microphone for us.
I'm sorry. I believe that was everybody we had on the docket, except for one offender who's currently under medical isolation for COVID-19.
Okay, then that's it for you guys. Thank you very much then. Appreciate it. Okay. And so we have somebody else on the screen. That's from the Tilford. For the defendant from the Tilford Tilford facility, could you please give me your last name, sir?
Contreras.
Again?
Contreras.
Contreras, okay? Mr. Contreras, can you do me a favor? Raise your right hand for me, sir.
See
Oh, you can't? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They got you covered. Okay, never mind that. Just, I'm going to ask you to, do you swear that the testimony you're about to give me will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is your name Matthew Jacob Contreras?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same Matthew Contreras when this cause number 20-05-00056 is charged with the offense of assault on a public servant? Is that you?
Yes, sir.
This is a third-degree felony, and for a third-degree felony, it is possible that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 10 years in prison. In addition, there's a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Do you understand the possible punishment in your case?
Yes, sir.
Your indictment has an enhancement paragraph on it. And if that enhancement paragraph were proven to be true, it could bump up your punishment from a third degree up to a second degree. For a second degree felony, it's possible that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison. And there's a fine anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Do you understand the possible punishment if the enhancement paragraph were proven to be true?
Yes, sir.
For right now, for purposes of the arraignment, I'd like a plea from you. This plea is not binding. You can change it later. But for right now, to the offense of assault on a public servant, how do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
I can't plead nolo contended.
Well, that will work. I'm going to take that as a not guilty. All right. This case is going to get reset for a pretrial conference to August the 17th. Okay?
Okay.
And you're now excused from the Zoom hearing. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes. What?
Okay, so where did Brianna's go?
He is on the phone back.
Trying to get the other case ready to go? Is that it? I hope.
Yes.
Because the other case is not set till 1 o'clock, right? Is that the last one? Okay. Mr. Brewer, we're just waiting on Jay to tell us whether or not this 1 o'clock has been moved up or we have to come back at 1 o'clock. I think that's what we're waiting for. And he's on the phone.
Yes, Your Honor.
So
I
you,
talked to all these guys except one.
huh?
I've talked to all these guys except one. They can't get it right.
Hey, they're not rocket scientists. That's why they're here.
Okay, tell Thomas not to go anywhere.
Brianna says not to go anywhere.
And tell him that we, waiting on Cofield to sign on. And then we're ready.
They're waiting on the next defendant to sign on and we'll be ready.
Cofield.
At what unit?
Cofield.
Cofield unit. So this is not the first time I've been promised something is going to happen when it's supposed to happen. We'll see.
We finally decided to move it along there pretty good. Yeah.
How many of these have you done, Mr. Burr? Have you done?
Yes, Your Honor. This will be the most in one time and using the most units. But we've had a couple in Walker County last week. And then before we started today, we had a couple in Madison County. And so this is the third round for me.
What do you anticipate happening on August the 17th? Do you think that you're going to be able to do this again? Or do you think obviously if they bring the prisoners over, you'll be confirmed with them, but assuming for a minute that we don't have a miraculous vaccine that's going to come in, what does your office anticipate doing with these?
There's going to be a lot of yelling and screaming for multiple reasons. I think what's going to really wind up happening is it's going to depend on what these guys want to do. Unfortunately, I think right now we've given the prosecutor a bird's eye view to a couple of guys who really want to go ahead and get done with this.
Yeah.
Which is kind of problematic for us. But the ones who decide that they want to take the offers, the simple truth of the matter is we're compelled to go ahead and allow them to do that. But when they do that, they're giving up counsel, basically, depending on how quickly these things are turned around. And so that's an issue for us because we're not.
They're giving up what? I'm sorry?
Giving up counsel. Because we're not allowed to really do the things that we would do for a normal client. They also give up the right to see discovery. And I can tell you right now, I have one guy today who's like, I want my discovery. I'm like, that's fine. But until I can see you in person, that's not going to happen because I can't come on the unit.
Give it to him by mail?
He can't have it. He's not allowed to have it in his possession.
I
have to show it to him and then withdraw.
That problem?
No, the new Michael Morton statute, Your Honor, is you can't provide copies of it to your client. You can share it with them. They can see it, but they can't have copies of it.
Well, how does that work on a Zoom thing if we have the COVID thing going on?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
So
now, if they're willing to go ahead and forego discovery, and in all actuality, with respect to video conferencing, if they want to take a plea, the statute requires that both the defendant and the state would sign off approving it. And I know so far that hasn't happened, even with the ones where plea agreements were taken. But I think the thought on that was that we would go with the guidance from the Supreme Court. But I'm not sure that guidance is going to be sufficient to merit that because there are multiple reasons for having that. And that kind of gets thrown to the side.
I'm just trying to think outside the box here. Suppose you had a Zoom conference with your client in private where you read him all that stuff or showed it to him on Zoom. Would that comply?
I don't know. It might. It's just a matter of, well, you know how it goes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I'm speaking to the client now.
We have a client ready to go. So I would just, it's interesting. It'll be to see what happens August the 7th.
Yes, sir.
Hoping you guys can work something out. Hope. Anyway, I have something from the Cofield unit. Is there a defendant ready at the Cofield unit?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could we have him brought to the Okay. Sir, could you please state your name under that microphone? What is your name, sir?
J. Vance Lee Thomas.
Thomas. I'm getting your file, Mr. Thomas. Okay, Mr. Thomas, I'm assuming right now that your hands are behind your back. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna, actually, I know you can't raise your right hand, but I'm gonna ask you to swear. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give me will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is your name Jarvance Thomas?
No, it's J. Vance Thomas.
J. Vance Thomas. I'm saying I misread it. Are you the same J. Vance Thomas who in this cause number 2005000062, who's charged with the offense of assault on a public servant? Is that you?
Yes.
Okay. This offense is a third-degree felony. And for a third-degree felony, it is possible that you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 10 years in prison. In addition, there is a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. You understand the possible punishment in your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have on your indictment what's called enhancement paragraph. And they're all the same date. So if any one of these enhancement paragraphs were proven to be true, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, if any one of these 4 enhancement paragraphs were proven to be true, it is possible that the punishment in your case could be bumped up from a third degree up to a second degree felony. And for a second degree felony, it is possible you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 0 days in jail up to 20 years in jail. In addition, there's a fine possible $0 up to $10,000. You understand what the possible punishment could be in your case if an enhancement paragraph were proven to be true?
So you said up to 0 days in jail, up to 20 days in jail?
Okay, let me do that
To
again.
20 years?
Yeah.
Please,
You're normally, it'd be 2 to 10 years, but if the paragraphs are proven to be true, it'd be 2 to 20 years. It bumps it up.
So can you please explain what the paragraph is?
Yeah, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. I'll read them to you if you want. It's presented in the court that prior to the commission.
Yes, please.
Pardon me? It's presented that prior to the.
I can't understand you.
Okay, let me get it closer and let me speak slower. Maybe that'll help. The enhancement paragraphs read as follows. It is further presented to the court that prior to the commission of the primary offense, the one that you're charged with now, that on the 8th day of April, 2011, you were convicted of the felony offense of murder in DeWitt County. That's one of the enhancement paragraphs. All right? Did you understand me when I read that one?
Yes.
Okay. The next enhancement paragraph, I'm going to just paraphrase it a little bit, alleges that you're convicted of the offense of tampering with physical evidence on that same day in that same county. Do you understand that one?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the next one alleges that you were convicted in that same county, DeWitt County, for the offense of possession of a controlled substance. You understand that one?
Yes.
And then the last one alleges in that same county that you were convicted again, convicted of a felony offense of tampering with physical evidence. And that's the last enhancement paragraph. Do you understand that one?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. And as I said, pardon me, sir?
So you enhancing me over some cases that I done 10 years ago.
Okay, I'm not the one enhancing you. It's the state that filed these enhancements on your indictment. I'm just telling you what's possible. What's possible is if they prove the enhancements to be true, if they prove one of them to be true, then your case gets bumped up from a third degree up to a second degree. That could be your punishment bumped up to from 2 to 10 up to 2 to 20. And either one of them, it just bumps you up to 2 to 20 if they prove any one of those paragraphs to be true.
So,
And that.
so where's my lawyer at?
Your lawyer is right here and let me just have him identify himself. Could I have the lawyer for the defendant identify himself?
Yes, Your Honor, Thomas Brewer, I represent the defendant, Mr. Thomas.
Okay. And could I ask the state to identify himself?
Yes, Your Honor. John English with the Special Prosecution Unit appearing for the state.
Mr. Brewer, would you like some time with your client before we go any further in this, before I ask him for his formal plea in the arraignment?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Okay. How much time?
About 5 minutes.
5 minutes. We'll go to a breakout room for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Hotel unit, there you go.
Okay.
What we may need to do, we can talk with Thomas when he gets back on, Your Honor, but we wouldn't have to come here to do it. We may just you, me, and Thomas get on a Zoom call and him just make some arguments to you about whether or not they want, make the state council's arguments about why they don't think that their clients should have to appear over Zoom to do pleas. And, you know, we can make our arguments about why you're allowed to order it, and then we can decide if you want to order them to appear or not. We did that in another county.
Well, I mean, is he right about that? Let me mute myself here for a minute. So.
Houston through the intersection of Fresno. But they've got all kinds of rules about what would have to happen in order for you to have trials. Yeah, it's gonna be messy. It's so hard to have masks on and do trials.
Yeah.
And trying to read a jury, how they're reacting to you. You can't see them.
I don't have them on my screen. Okay, I see Julie back. 1 minute. Is this the last one, Jay?
This is the last Zoom, and then we got one phone conference.
Phone call?
Yeah, I was in-
Come on, man. Okay. So then we can excuse Julie after this is over, right?
No, because Thomas is on there, so I'm gonna try to put the phone somewhere where everybody.
So you're not excused, Julie. Sorry.
She wants to be, that's what she's.
She wants to be, but too bad.
Julia, you've done an excellent job of framing yourself by the rule of thirds. So if a cinematographer was shooting your house, this is how they would set you up in a rule of thirds. Instead of putting yourself right in the middle of the screen, you set yourself off 1/3 of the side. This is how people shoot documentaries.
Oh, well, I just got lucky. I have a laptop over here and a giant screen over here, so I'm kind of, it wasn't on purpose, but awesome.
Meanwhile, Jay is texting like crazy.
I know that I'm going to be texting our supervisor, that I know how, I could have been done when you first, so.
Oh, what a fun day, guys. I tell you what. Well, it came out a lot smoother than I thought it was going to be. Thank you, Julie, for working this out. It's been
You're welcome, Judge.
it is. Because I don't think it would have gotten so smooth with Briones handling it. I don't know why, but I just don't think so. Okay, Mr. Brewer's back on the screen. And I'm waiting for his client to get on the screen.
She thinks we lost Cofield.
No, we have Mr. Brewer.
No, Cofield.
You lost Cofield?
That's what she thinks.
Well, isn't that special? Hopefully they will reconnect. Mr. Brewer, did you get to talk to your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we just need to get him back on, right? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Cofield units coming on. Or at least there's a space that says Cofield unit. Okay. Mr. Thomas is back on the screen. Mr. Thomas has had a chance to talk to his lawyer. Mr. Thomas, I'd already gone through the possible your case if the enhancement paragraphs are proven to be true. Did you get a chance to talk to your lawyer about that?
So, no, because it went out, but can you tell me the statute of limitations on enhancements?
I really can't, sir. I cannot give you legal advice. Your lawyer's gonna have to give that to you later. Right now, all I need from you, I've given you what you're charged with, possible punishment could be. All I want right now from you on your formal arraignment is, and it's a plea that you can take back later, but right now I need a formal plea of either guilty or not guilty. How do you plead, sir?
Yeah. I want to talk to my lawyer about that too. Can I talk to my lawyer about that?
Well, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty. So if you change your mind later and you want to plead guilty later, you can. But right now, I'm entering a plea of not guilty for you. Julie, can you give him 5 more minutes of Zoom time? Would 5 more minutes work?
Okay.
Will that work, Mr. Burr?
It won't hurt, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to formally enter your plea of not guilty and reset this to August the 17th. Then did I have the attorney identify themselves earlier? I don't remember now. I've done so many of these things this morning.
I believe you did, Your Honor, but if not, John English with the Special Prosecution Unit appearing for the state.
And Mr. Burr, you identified yourself already, I think, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so now I'm entering a plea of not guilty for the defendant. This case is set to August 17th for a pretrial conference. And we'll give you 5 minutes to talk to your client on that breakout room. And then after that, the administrator of this thing, Julie, is going to kick you out and you'll have to go talk to.
I can't understand.
Pardon me?
I can't understand.
No, don't worry.
I can't understand y'all. I don't know what's going on. I can't understand y'all.
Okay. You're going to get 5 minutes to talk to your lawyer, okay? So go ahead and do it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Okay, he's out now. So then, that's it. Well, we got to, Julie's got to hang on for 5 more minutes on this thing. So we, how do we tell them they're excused? They'll come back from the breakout room and then we'll tell them they're excused in the Zoom meeting? Okay. Now this last guy, Martinez, is going to be by phone. And
It's his, I had actually set him up at 1:45. I'm trying to get him right now.
you set him up for 1:45 for Zoom or for phone? Is he in prison?
Yes, sir.
Why couldn't they, this particular unit doesn't do Zoom?
No, they're just being jerks, to be honest with you.
I can't believe that. Please. Okay. Prison officials being jerks? I cannot believe that. Okay. So once they come back out of the breakout room, Julie, I will excuse them. And hopefully you can end this Zoom thing and then we'll have to figure out how to do this teleconference that Jay's got set up. Okay? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Julie, can I ask you a question? Once we're over, will you be able to take care of the live tube YouTube thing? Turn it off or whatever it is?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Looks like they had a 6-man jury here and they spaced the chairs out accordingly with the blue tags.
That's what they're allowed as far as if they were to see the jury.
Yeah.
They can only do that in phase.
Yeah, it works for county court, but it wouldn't work for district.
We have 1 minute remaining.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Burr. Mr. Burr is back on the screen. And is it, well,
Mr. Thomas.
get back on. What is your client's name again, Mr. Brewer?
Javance Thomas, Your Honor.
Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Thomas is on the screen. Mr. Thomas, we gave you your 5 minutes. I've entered a plea, a formal plea of not guilty for this arraignment, and the Zoom arraignment hearing is over. You can be excused. Thank you, sir.
Hey, you have to talk carefully because you keep on fading in and out.
I am sorry if I do. And
You have
I'm doing that. The hearing is over. You've had a chance to talk to your attorney, and we are resetting this hearing for August the 17th.
Okay.
And your lawyer will talk to you, I hope, before then. Well, so good luck to you. You're excused. And this Zoom meeting is over with. Julie, can you Do I just sign out here or what do I do?
No.
No. Oh, then we have, the next hearing is gonna be on Zoom, Julie, so we're gonna have to, okay. So we'll
Okay.
be doing the next hearing shortly. So don't go anywhere, Mr. Burr. We have one more case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, the Cofield staff, you can take this, this person, out of this meeting if you want to. I don't know if they're hearing me, but,
I can't understand nothing you saying. It's so fading in and out.
okay. The meeting is over. And you can be excused from the room.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This Thomas is doing a phone conference. I don't know how he can hear it or how you want to do this.
I'll tell you what, can we on Zoom now or do you want to be able to Zoom this next guy? What do you?
Well, how are we going to do a phone conference? Will Thomas get him to call me? Thomas is on there.
If you
Thomas,
want to post to the computer, maybe
Okay.
Thomas can hear.
So,
hey, Thomas.
Yes, Your Honor.
we're having a teleconference with
Martinez.
Martinez. The client's name is Azriel Jadai Martinez. And it's going to be part telephone, part Zoom. Is that what we're doing here,
Yes,
Jay?
because he's on Zoom and the defendant is on the phone.
Okay, your client is on the phone, but since we have you on Zoom, we're going to try and do this part telephone, part Zoom. Okay? This is the first. So then,
Is this legal?
no clue. Do I have you on the phone, Mr. Martinez?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is your name Azriel Jadai Martinez?
Yes, sir.
And are you the same Azriel Jadai Martinez when this cause number 20-5-00044, who stands charged with the offense of possession of a prohibited substance in a correctional facility? Is that you?
Yes, sir.
Could I have the attorneys identify themselves for the record? Could I have the attorney for the state, please?
Yes, Your Honor. My name is John English with the Special Prosecution Unit appearing for the state.
Attorney for the defense?
Thomas Brewer representing Mr. Martinez.
Okay. Mr. Martinez,
Yes, sir.
your charge is a third-degree felony. And for a third-degree felony, it is possible you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 10 years in prison. In addition, there is a fine possible anywhere from $0 up to a maximum of $10,000. Do you understand the possible punishment in your case?
Yes, sir.
Your indictment has got some enhancement paragraphs. It has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 enhancement paragraphs. If any one of these enhancement paragraphs were proven to be true, it could bump your punishment up from a third-degree felony up to a second-degree felony. And your punishment then could become anywhere from a minimum of 2 years in prison up to 20 years in prison. In addition, a fine possible from $0 to $10,000. You understand what your punishment could be if one enhancement paragraph were proven to be true?
Yes, sir.
If 2 of these paragraphs were proven to be true, it would bump up your punishment up to habitual first degree, which means you could be punished anywhere from a minimum of 25 years in prison up to a maximum life in prison, in addition to a fine anywhere from $0 up to $10,000. Do you understand that possible punishment?
Yes, sir.
So now, as part of the indictment process here, I need to get a formal plea from you on this offense. And it's the non-binding plea. In other words, you can change it later. But for right now, to the offense of possession of a prohibited substance in a correctional facility, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, sir.
Okay. The court's going to accept your plea of not guilty. This case is going to get reset for a pretrial conference to August the 17th. and want to excuse you from the phone on that. All right? Thank you very much, sir.
August 17th, you said, sir?
August 17th. All right. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Okay, now
We're done.
we are done. Anything you need from me, Mr. Brewer?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. John, anything? Mr.
Nothing for the state, Your Honor.
Hey, Thomas. Hey, Thomas.
Yes.
Hey, since we are done, I don't think the judge quite understood you correctly earlier. You said you have done only a handful of these things, but
I can't hear you, sir.
You're muted, Jay.
Just hold the space bar down.
Hey, Thomas, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't think the judge quite understood what you said earlier. You said you had only done 1 or 2 of these, but when Julia and Jay were in charge of this docket, we just ran through about 24 cases. Is that what you're saying?
Are you using Zoom time to diss this guy? Come on.
Okay, we're done.
Jesus. Okay. Thanks for showing up, everybody, and more particularly to H. Paul Canales on the screen. Thank you, Julia, for administrating all this. Okay, they had me as administrator, but I didn't do dilly squat. It was her that did all the work. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're all excused from the Zoom meeting, and we'll Zoom again sometime. All right.